Hello, this is John Tayer, President and CEO of the Boulder Chamber, and I welcome you to another edition of Chamber Chat, which is our weekly opportunity to check in with all our Boulder businesses during this COVID-19 response period, and to talk about all the work we're doing at the Boulder Chamber to support your business and help you prepare for a speedy and sustainable recovery. And this is, in fact, a very special week because we are now under the new Safer at Home emergency order, which allows us to loosen the restrictions on business operations while still maintaining protective public health procedures. And you'll notice that I'm here back at the Boulder Chamber. I am not wearing my face mask because I'm alone, but you can follow on Facebook the transition that I made to the office, making sure that I follow all of the procedures, which may be a good guide for you in your office environment. And we also have the opportunity today to talk with a couple of businesses that are adapting to this new Safer at Home order. Dana Query, who is the creative cat at Big Red F Restaurant Group, and George Karakehian, who is the owner of ArtSource International. We're going to discuss with them what this transition has meant for their business, and also the challenges that remain for them in operating during this time, and how we can help support them and help them to sustain and thrive during this period. But before we get started, I'll have a couple of announcements. First of all, we continue with our Lunch and Learn at Home series. And this upcoming May 20th from 12 to 1, we have Creating an Age-Friendly Workplace, which is going to be led by our good friends at Changing the Narrative. They will be talking about how we can leverage our older Coloradans and help overcome stereotypes related to age in the workplace. They're going to walk you through steps to improve access for the entire pipeline of our workforce and help you to increase profitability and productivity by making sure that you are a welcoming environment for folks of all ages. And then finally, they're going to be talking about the opportunity for you to get certified as an age-friendly workplace and sign up for that certification. In addition, we also have another program that is online, and that is the weekly programs that we have for educating our employers in industry-specific sectors. We're going to be doing that weekly on Tuesdays and Thursdays all the way through this next coming month. And we want to make sure that you have the updates on the different procedures that you can follow, on the different best practices, and just an opportunity to check in with our public health officials to help address any confusion associated with operations during the stay-at-home period. And you can register for those programs at the Boulder Chamber website, boulderchamber.com/events. And if you've missed previous education programs, don't worry. We have them all online for you at boulderchamber.com/COVID-19. There you can get the videos of previous education sessions, as well as downloadable materials, posters and checklists, and things that are going to help you in your operations during this Safer at Home period. So enough for me. I want to have a chance to talk to our two guests. And the first one we're going to have a chat with is George Karakehian, who is the owner of ArtSource International on the Pearl Street Mall. And he is one of those retailers that now has the opportunity to serve his customers in his store. And I wanted to hear from George, if you can tell us, first of all, how's it going down there? What other challenges are you facing, and what can we do to better support retailers in our community to help them get back to business? George.
Thanks, John. It's been a strange couple of months for us, as well as everyone else that we know. Stranger for me in that we celebrated our 40th anniversary of being here at ArtSource, and we were closed. You know, we had all these grand plans, and it didn't happen. But we're rolling with it. You know, Governor Polis has said, calls it safer at home. We call it safer at ArtSource. We're very clean. There's never a ton of people in here. We were lucky enough to continue on in business throughout those 2 months because we have internet and a lot of online material, and we would get it and send it out the back door. During that other time, we had curbside, and we were doing curbside as well. Now, it was 10:01 a.m. on the day that I think it was Saturday, this past Saturday, we opened our front doors. And I opened the door, and there was someone waiting to make a purchase. We had a pretty good day. It continues to get better. I'm a bit discouraged in a number of ways because more downtown businesses, have not opened. I don't quite understand it. We are doing business every day. In fact, something just happened before I went on with you. So it's exciting to be open again. I was actually more nervous about opening this time than I was when we opened all those 40 years ago. It was a strange feeling, but it's beautiful down here. The tulips are blooming. We are doing business. We're open for business, and hopefully it will just continue to get better each day. We're lucky as compared to a lot of businesses in that we have those over those 40 years, people who have been regular customers who just keep coming in. And I must tell you that it has been very gratifying to be here and to hear customers and what they're saying about us and coming back and getting back into the swing of things here. It's very, very strange not being super busy, but we believe that's going to change, and we really want to encourage the other downtown businesses to really to get going, to get starting up, to get more excitement down here. And did I answer the questions that you had, John, or anything else in particular?
No, George, I think that was excellent feedback for our viewers. And I just want to thank you so much for that insight from the retailer perspective. So what I thought
I got to tell you that, every morning I wake up and I say, thank goodness I'm not in the restaurant business. And, we down here in retail, really have it pretty easy as compared to the restaurateurs. And again, I must tell you, and you and I have had a couple of discussions about this, downtown is about restaurants. We have to get the restaurants open because they come down here to have fun and drink at the restaurants, and then they shop. So I know you're working on some things. I know other smart people are working on things for restaurants, but we need them to thrive in order for our retail. And one last thing, this is all so tied together. Downtown Boulder is about 14% of the city of Boulder's sales tax revenue. So they're hurting. So the faster we get going down here, the better. And if any of you are out shopping, please come by and say hello. I'll stay 6 feet away. I've got my mask here. I wear it all over the place. And we love downtown Boulder, and we love living in Boulder.
I love it, George. And your comments about the restaurants are completely helpful because there's a great transition to our next guest, who is Dana Query, as I mentioned, who is I love this title, want something like this in my life, the Creative Cat, or Big Red F Restaurant Group, which includes the restaurants very popular, Zolo, Jack's, West End Tavern and Centro in our community.
And the Post.
We know. Oh, what was the other one?
And the Post.
And the Post. Thank you. Jeez.
Which Dana, Kristen, and I had takeout last night from the Post.
Ah, bless you. Thank you.
I actually had the West End last night. Go to coincidence. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm just going to ask you, Dana. You haven't been under this safer at home order, been able to bring people into the restaurant. So I'm interested, just what are you doing to keep your business operating during this time? And then just wondering, what is your vision then for opening and supporting restaurants so that they are, as George implied, thriving for our community and for your business going forward. So take it away, Dana.
Yeah, thanks, John, and thanks, George. I'd say first, just when it all first happened, like everyone in every business, it was a lot of unknowns, and we were swimming as fast as we could to keep up with everything changing. Our number one thing out of the gate was keeping our staff safe and keeping our guests safe. And so it's always about those two groups of people, staff and guests, and safety all of a sudden became of utmost importance. So wellness checks every single day, the sanitation through the roof, but all of it becoming very systematized. So how often do we do wellness checks, and what are the protocols? And because everyone was flying blind, we put a lot of those protocols into place very quickly ourselves. And so that allowed us to feel comfortable and good about keeping 5 of our restaurants open to offer curbside pickup. And I will say, after 9 weeks of transitioning our business model from in-store dining and hugging our customers and our guests and high-fiving, we feel really proud about making that really strong pivot. And I would say to other restaurants out there who decided to shutter fully for whatever reason, it didn't make sense for your business, as we start to inch towards the reopening, I do see that curbside, it's an amazing business model once you figure it out. It can be pretty efficient, and it really is super low touch and really safe for guests. And guests have come to really, I think, have a lot of trust in the safety of that. It's been 9 weeks, so we really can see that continuing. Whereas I think not one size fits all ever in almost any circumstance, and it certainly doesn't work in this situation either. Speaking of many restaurateurs in Boulder and Denver, everybody's business is slightly different, and so where one restaurant can go to reservation only, the place down the street that's owned by the people who moved here from another country or whatever, their business model may not work that way, and they might not have as loud of a voice on an advocacy side. So I think for us, and especially for me personally, I'm trying to be really conscious of what will work for everyone. And so what we would really love to see is just really clear direction when it comes to what those safety regulations are from our county, city, and state government officials, so that it's really a big message out to the public that if you are going to go out, you need to abide by these rules, because we, again, are really concerned with the safety. And the worst thing that could ever happen is for there to be another uptick or outbreak, and for us all have to shut down again. And we want to do everything we can to avoid that. So crawl before you can walk, and walk before you can run, and never do anything that's going to put people at risk. And then I'll also say that, back to the one size doesn't fit all model, government being really clear with regulations and expectations for all of us on the safety side, but being sort of high level enough in some of the support that they start to give restaurants and businesses, so that we don't all have to try to fit our foot into the same shoe, so that we can take some of these relaxed sort of regulations and use it how it best fits our business model. That's the only way that more restaurants are going to be able to survive, if we can be a little bit nimble. And one example is, I think that we would all love to see, I know this isn't a secret, but the sale of alcohol through our businesses to go has been a huge boost in our revenue. We're still under 50% of budgeted revenue, but increasing that ability. So if the city relaxed regulations on public consumption of alcohol, at least in like parks. You know, people are going to be outdoors. Don't regulate them, or make it a little less scary that if somebody wants to go to North Boulder Park with a picnic they just picked up, they shouldn't have to feel like they have to hide their beer, you know? So maybe in certain circumstances, certain parks, certain places, we can relax those sort of public consumption rules, while also keeping all of the other rules in place and laws in place that make everything safe, such as no drinking and driving, and, you know, obviously like that. But, you know, I think for us, the main thing is not one size fits all for restaurants. And we want to make sure we do everything we can as a community to support all different types of businesses, and including our retail partners. So, you know, what works for restaurants might not work for them, and vice versa. It has to be a conversation.
I love it, Dana. You know, I was expecting, you guys are both, George and you, business leaders in our community, and these insights have been super helpful for us. And as we represent you at the Boulder Chamber, we will heed that guidance. First of all, in marketing, to get more people downtown and have them understand how safe it is to participate and join in the retail experience. But then also, as you suggested, Dana, making sure that we're clear in the guidance that we give to restaurants during the operating period, but also that we allow for flexibility so that they can do creative service to their customers. So thank you both for your insights. I also want to close today by thanking our Boulder Chamber members. I have to tell you that, you know, we know that we're all facing a challenging time. Your support during this period, though, is allowing us to do the important work of supporting our businesses and helping to rebuild our economy. I can tell you that our chamber staff is working overtime for all of you, and your investment in us is going to be paying back in all of our recovery through this period. So thank you so much from the bottom of our heart at the Boulder Chamber. Thank you for your membership and support. And as I always say at the close of these chamber chats, first of all, make sure to be healthy. We cannot have a reversal. We need all of us to do what it takes to maintain a healthy environment. But be cool. We're going to get through this. We are getting through this. We're all in this together. So thank you so much. Glad to be back here at the Boulder Chamber Center, and we'll see you next week on Chamber Chat.